Hi guys, I hope you're well. If you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Blakemore and I'm a teacher here in Dubai. In the last video that I created, I shared with you a range of different Google Slides add-ons and extensions to benefit when you're creating your Google Slides. This video is going to be part 2 of that series, and I'm going to be sharing a range of different Google Slides add-ons and extensions to benefit when you're actually teaching using Google Slides. If you're not sure what an add-on or an extension is, this video is going to explain it to you. It's basically going to make your learning a little bit more fun and efficient when you're using Google Slides. So let's jump straight into the video. Before we do that, if you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll be alerted when I create future EdTech videos. So let's look at a range of different must-have teaching extensions for Google Slides. Now, this video is going to start off with some simple ones, and then I'm going to show you my absolute favorite towards the end of the video. So how to access. Now, there's two different types. You've got the extensions that are across the top, and you can see some already. Now, to access those, you need to go into the Chrome web store and then search for the extensions that I share with you in this video, and you can see some recommended ones along here too. In addition, you've got your add-ons. Now, this will give you a sneak peek into some of the add-ons. Some of the add-ons from a previous video, make sure you check that out if you haven't already. Add-ons, and you'll see some there, and you've got get add-ons. You can also manage the add-ons. From there, you can search them. However, if you go onto the Google Workspace Marketplace, you can also search that in Google and find them there. So it's really simple to click that, and then you just install it quite simply. If we click onto that, then you'd install it. This is a really good one for docs, but that's not what this video is about. So to start off with, we've got Palliative. Now, Palliative helps customize the theme of a slide, as I'm going to show you now. That's within our add-ons. If we click on Palliative and start, it will help load it up. Now, Palliative is great because there's a range of different themes. Now, this is a favorite theme. They've got a range of different custom palettes, and you can see there's an absolute range. Let's see if we can find one we enjoy. That one's quite nice. It's pretty good on the basic slides. So if we just have a new slide that hasn't got some sort of template, it's pretty good. Now, if we have that, if we click the wand here, it will just apply it to one slide. This one here will apply it to all slides. So let's apply it to this slide, and you'll see it changes the theme completely. However, as you can also see, it's changed the boxes as well. So I'm going to press Z because I quite like how it's themed at the moment. And you can imagine on a simple slide, this would be really effective to just quickly change the backgrounds. Don't forget that Slides.go also gives a range of free templates too, which is effective. The next one is another creation one, but one that benefits teaching, especially when children are sharing data and you can start to collaborate and create charts together. It's called Elusive Charts, and if we click onto it, you go Insert Diagram, and there's a range of different charts that you can embed. So here you can see my diagrams are ones that I've already created, and I can just either edit those or add those into my slides, or I can add something new. So if we go to create new diagram, that will allow me to insert a Venn diagram. If we click that, it takes you through to a new creation page effectively. And you can see we've got a bit of an overlap going on here. It gives you some instructions on what to do. And then we can change the topics. So volcano, I'm going to go for the theme of natural disasters through this. And then overlap. From there, you're going to press back to slide, and then you will have that in your diagrams, and you can just simply add it in, and that will pop up into your Google Slides up in the corner. You can then move it, and this is great for then showing the children too. My next favorite add-on is Modes. Now, I've spoken about Modes in my Google Chrome extensions video. If you've not checked that out, feel free to. I'll leave a link above. And what it allows you to do is to give effective feedback verbally. Now, let's say this is a child's work and I wanted them to perhaps make this section here that I'm highlighting a little bit more descriptive. I'm going to add a comment in, and as I add that comment in, I can click the little record button. Hi there, make sure that you add a little bit more detail to this section that I've highlighted. Done. And then as it has a little bit of a think, I can then add that comment in, and then it's then translated into a bit of a transcript. And then when a child comes back to it, they can then click on that and hear that feedback too. Markup Hero is an extension rather than an add-on. Now, to access that, you would click on this little icon up in the top and press Take Screenshot. I'm then going to click on the specific tab that I'm on and press Share. Once that happens, you will then taken to a specific page where the markup is then loaded. So if I choose to, I can add pen, so and then add some detail or add some writing, detail needed. I can draw arrows onto it. This might be nice if I want to say a big tick with a green pen. And then from there, you can just copy it, or you can choose to download it, share it, whatever you choose to do. And then I'm going to come back onto here and just paste it in. And you can see that that has added in a quick markup. This is really effective if you just want to screenshot a page, give some quick feedback. Tab Manager is something that I use a lot when I'm working with children in class. Now, the reason this is effective is because it, as it says, manages tabs easily. Now, as you can see, I've got a range of different tabs above. This is our tab manager. If I click onto that, you can see all the different tabs that I've got open. This is how you'll be able to see it. However, if you click on this little section here, then it takes you to big block view, to horizontal view, and then ultimately to this, which I like. The reason I like this is because when you've opened up all the different children's Google Slides that they've opened through Google Classroom, you can imagine I've got quite a big class, let's say 20 plus children, open up all their different Google Slides tabs. Then I can quickly select children if they're asking me for additional help. So that's really simple to access. I can also pin tabs as needed and then hide tabs if needed too. So it is just an effective tab management tool too. Screencastify. As you can see, I'm currently using Screencastify to record this video, and although I have paid for the premium version, which allows me to film for an unlimited amount of time, the 5-minute free version is really effective too if you just want to film specific blocks, and I really do enjoy using this. Now you can see there's a range of different features. You can film using your camera on your laptop, or you can film using an external audio device like I'm using my microphone here. It's fantastic because then you can find your range of media up here and it's all saved up for you, and you can also edit it with certain versions too. It's a really effective tool for teachers to be able to give feedback verbally but also show them what they need to do at the same time. Having that ability to see you down in the corner is great for children, especially if they're learning from a distance at the moment. Google Slides Toolbox. Now I showed you this on the previous video where I shared a range of different creation Google Slides add-ons. However, what I really do like and I want to emphasize is the effectiveness of the shuffle. So if we open this, you'll see a range of different slides. And then from here, what we can do is access the page tools. And then what we can do is shuffle the slides. Now I'm reluctant to do that because I've got them in a really nice order. But we can shuffle the slides around. Why this is effective is if you've got something like a phonics lesson where you've got a range of different sounds where these cards are here, you can quickly shuffle them, and then when you present those slides to the children, they're going to be in a random order rather than going through the same slide each time we do the lesson. In addition, that would work really well with mental maths. Let's say you have a range of different mental maths questions and you want to swap the orders, then you can quickly press the shuffle button that's down here, and that's going to save you from needing to shuffle things around like this. Now, my final and absolute favorite add-on for Google Slides is Nearpod. The functionality available with Nearpod is fantastic, and there is a strong reason why so many educators are choosing to use it. So to start off with, you can add audio into your slides. Now, similar to Mote, this is a really effective tool for children to be able to hear your voice. Now, with this first slide, I've put Nearpod to teach everything, and I want to make the children give me a bit of an explanation as to what it is. So I'm going to add an open-ended question. From there, I can add audio instructions, add a timer for the amount of time that the children have to complete said question, and then from there, the children will need to complete that. In addition, you can add PDFs, polls, and quizzes. Now, if I added poll in, and we've got this question here on the board, I can then look at that question and add in a poll. So the question is, what is this natural? Now, as you can see, this would be a normal slide in a lesson. However, I don't want to make it just that. I want to add a little bit more interactivity to it. So I'm going to add in the VR trip or the field trip tool, which will allow you to actually go around a natural disaster, because that's what I'm choosing, and there's a range of different scenarios. So if I type in volcano, you'll see that I can add in a range of different volcanoes here into my slides, which makes it far more effective than just
having a picture. Now, as you can see, there's lots of different things available, such as matching pairs and fill in the blanks. If I wanted to add a final fill in the blanks, I can add that in here. So now I've just quickly typed something out for you. And from there, what we can do is also change the different text style. But then once I've done that, then I can click on specific words that I want to omit. So as I'm doing that, then you will see they will disappear, and the children will then need to select the correct vocabulary when it comes to the Nearpod slide. So then to get onto the Nearpod website, you need to click Save and go to Nearpod. From there, within the Nearpod website, what you can do is add folders to keep yourself nice and organized. You can now have a Zoom going on at the same time as your Nearpod session. You can have live participation for synchronous learning or student-paced asynchronous learning if they are doing distance learning from another time zone, for example. So if we click live participation, that will then open up the Nearpod website, and the children will then need to click and enter in an access code on the website that I add down below. What I love is that the children don't have to have a Nearpod account to be able to access the Nearpod session. As the children enter their code in, you can then see that the children will start to pop up. You will join the lesson, given the name that you choose, and then you can see we are waiting for me to start. You can choose to hide the student names across the bottom, and you can see that we've got some children in here. From there, then we can just flip through the slides as I've shown you previously, or you can access specific slides as shown across the bottom. So here we've got our first little part. So what is this add-on? And then it takes us to our open-ended question here. So then you can type in your question. Once the children have submit their answer, then you can see it immediately shows up there, and the children have the ability to edit their answer if, for example, you give some verbal feedback. Here you can see I decide when the activity starts. When I click the start, the children get a bit of a countdown, and then it's up to them to decide what it was. So if we click Tsunami and then submit that add-on, then the children are able to see that too. So if you click Tsunami and then submit it, you can see I get immediately down in the bottom how many children have selected those different things. The VR activity is powerful because the children can see the natural disaster in front of them. The fill in the blank is then really effective because the children then select the right words and drag and drop them in. The children get a score then too. And that brings me to the last slide and the finishing point, which finishes nicely on Nearpod. And that is, what do you think I've missed? What teaching add-ons for Google Slides do you think are really effective and things that you use effectively with your class? Please let me know.
And that marks the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you found it useful. If you did, feel free to like it. That's always really appreciated. If you aren't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel where I create a range of different EdTech videos and other teaching related videos too. Hopefully I will see you in the next one, but until then, I'm out.